so excited. This is the 10th year return of coming to GATFFEST. I started in 2014, and I come all the way from Canada, and I have the opportunity to showcase my featured debut, Ray of Hope, here at GATFFEST, and it's really exciting because GATFFEST is a special place. It's a community film festival, and so the idea that one can come into this community and put down their guns and pick up cameras and tell stories. Our story happens to be a conflict story, and so it relates so much to the communities that fight against each other, because it's a story about communities fighting against each other, but what do we do after that, and what is the impact of those fights, and so that is Ray of Hope. Ray of Hope is about the Tamil community, and we have with us Radhika Sitsabaisen and her daughter Maya Dilia, who are both here to share in this story with the Jamaican community and public. With this documentary, I spent 11 years working on it. I went with Radhika to all the way to Sri Lanka. It is a small country at the bottom of India, and right there in that spot has 3 kingdoms that was originally on that island. And so I got a chance to go there in 2013, and I didn't realize that 4.5 years earlier, it was a war that was happening there with over 100,000 people being killed. And I was there, we were out there for under siege, almost getting arrested. And we made international news when the propaganda went out that we were under house arrest. And so therein starts the genesis of Ray of Hope. And for 9 years I worked on trying to connect with some people from the community to tell the story, but the fear still continued despite being so far away in Canada, away from Sri Lanka. So I decided 2 years ago to make this film and to finally put something together. And so Ray of Hope was born. And we got a chance to play it in theaters, played for 2 weeks in Canada, the first story on the Tamil genocide to play on national cinema. And then we started our festival circuit, and to date we have 6 awards that we've won in 4 countries, and we've played at least 6 festivals now, with GATFFEST being the 6th.
Wow. Great GATFFEST among the other festivals that you have showcased your film in?
Well, we shouldn't rate festivals that showcase diversity, because each one has a different special feel. When I was in England, I was at a Romford Film Festival, and there Romford is considered one of the poor communities. So every time I told someone in England that I was going to Romford, they're like, "Oh boy, that place is bad." And you would think that, funnily, GATFFEST is in Greater Augustown, and people would say, Greater Augustown is bad, you can't go there. It's the similar structure. So you can't rate it, because each community, each festival has something special. When I went to DC Light Reel Film Festival, there was festival coordinators who were critics. So they would have written books on American cinema, black cinema. And so that's a whole different feel. Or if I'm in IBDFF, International Black and Diversity Film Festival in Toronto, they really focus on showcasing talent and a lot of awards. So we were nominated for 14 awards with International Black and Diversity Film Festival. Or the Niagara Falls Film Festival, which again was their first year. So they're starting to figure out what they were doing. They selected our film, they didn't play it. So different festivals have different feels, but it's knowing that your film is being considered at these different places, and that it has a different, unique audience despite being showcased.
Tell us why Jamaica.
Well, Diversity is important for me, and if we don't tell our own stories, then who will? And when we look at a culture like Jamaica, we've seen Better Must Come that's come out of it with Storm Salter. We've seen so many other stories. But if the white man tells our story, they'll tell it how they want to tell it. So when I created this film, Jamaica was one of the stops, because even though this is a Tamil story, we wanted to see how it connected with the Jamaican community and to see whether there's any relationship here, because this story is a social justice and human rights story. When we think of what has happened to the Rastas, when we think of what continues to happen to the LGBTQ people, when we think of, you know, the different rules and norms that we have and laws that we put in, that sometimes we are taking away other people's rights to be free and expressive. You know, sometimes we got to re-examine how that looks. So this story is sort of a mirror of what we're still doing in communities that are still very progressive and very different, but whenever there's an election time, we're always at the border of what you call civil war, you know, because party, you know, parity. Yeah. So this story is important in that way, and you know, when we see it, I'm looking forward to seeing how people react to what they're seeing, what they're learning about the Tamil people, because for us to be able to go to the UN and to seek justice, we need allies. And allies can only come when people know who they're fighting for. And for the Tamil, what my experience has been is that they really know their stories within their community, but to take it out sometimes is very difficult. I could imagine that Jamaicans have done that very much too, where they know Jamaica very well, but to take it out to the world. And we have Bob Marley, who has broken barriers across cultures. So I imagine that Bob Marley's music would have been played as a freedom music even for the Tamil people when they're considering what they're fighting for. I'm hearing there are 100 people already registered for the June 27th screening of Ray of Hope in Jamaica. That starts at 7 o'clock, and it's going to be on one of the lawns here on the campus of the University of the West Indies, Mona. So I'm really excited about that. We've got Radhika Sitsabaisen and her daughter here, and you know, we're looking for a talk back on Friday at the community film location. We're going to be having a workshop and talking about how people can take their own stories and tell it, and to use it as a source for action. My name is Ryan Singh. I'm the director of Ray of Hope, and you're watching We Be That Media House.
I'm Ika Campbell, producer and director, and you are watching
We Be That Media.
We Be That Media.
You're watching
We Be That Media House.